It's okay. It's turning also.
Yeah, you can adjust it if you want. You can.
Like this?
Yeah.
Fine. Good.
So now we're just waiting for the stream to start. Where are you, stream? There we go. Where are you, stream? There we go. There we go. Just there we go. Start the sound. So here we can see ourselves. It's a little bit delayed. Everybody in the chat, welcome to today's bonus episode. And oh my god, am I so excited?
Yes, you are, and I'm stressed out.
Don't be stressed out. But before we get started, guys, thank you, Ludmila, for being there. Nati, Vendo, these guys are my mods. But before we start, of course, I have to start by thanking my subscribers. So members. So actually, YouTube allows you to have members, and people are paying money for no reason other than
you.
Yes.
And your charm.
Yes. So thank you for giving me money. But actually, I don't know if you know, Petra, that all the money that we get from this will eventually, whenever I get paid, go to charity.
That's very.
So we already committed that it's going to go to Dobry Anjo initially until I can find a better. Or
That's
I'm not.
very cool because Dobry Aniel is Triad's client.
Is it?
Pro bono.
So do you
So
know?
we are supporting the same causes.
Do you know Mr. Kiska?
Not personally.
Because I'm trying to get him here so that we can tell him that we are planning to donate the money.
Okay,
to
I'll try to find a connection, but I cannot promise that. I'm sorry.
No worries. But let's get started. Let me thank the members of the channel. So it's Wilcorn, shout out to you. Adam's Art, thank you. He's actually subscribed to our highest tier, which is the C1, because they are levels, English levels, right? And the C1 is $24.99, and I just put it there randomly, and
You did it. Wow.
Thank you for the big support. Thank you to Memdev, Slavsky Laurent, Ludmila C, Sinister, STX 555, Cynthia, my digital artist who designs my emotes. So if you see those, for example, there, that's my cat.
That's so cool.
And
I met the cat. Very nice cat.
He's big but scared of everybody. Yo-Yo, just Vendo, who's actually also. Oh, why is Vendo not a moderator? Let me fix that. There we go. We just promoted Vendo. Mazurovec, Patricek, and Varohovi Rohlich. I always say it so wrong.
Tvarohovi Rohlich.
Yeah, and you know what? I said it perfectly until Roman Konya was here yesterday and was correcting me, and then I got nervous. Now I don't know how to say it.
That's psychological stuff. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm really afraid of that word. So thank you to the members, and now thank you to my team of moderators who make sure that the chat stays clean. Duklok, he's my moderator.
Isn't he in Prague right now?
He might be.
Ah.
He might be. Teresa Enki, Mr. D, George, Nati, who's here, Cynthia as well, Vendo, Lou Voitkova, Ludmila C. Thank you guys very much for supporting me and also making sure that the chat stays clean. As you know, you guys know who the guest is today. Mad Monk. You guys know that it's always there in the background. And we have one of the people behind the genius marketing that Mad Monk has.
Oh, this is very nice of you, but I joined Mad Monk very recently, so
Aha.
I actually think that the magic happening there is not yet my fault.
But you will take it higher, right?
Yes, that's why I'm there, and I really believe in Mad Monk. So
it's a great brand.
I will help.
Before we get started, for the people that don't know, because this podcast is actually viewed internationally, believe it or not, even New Zealand,
Wow,
people
hi,
watching.
New Zealand.
In the US, because I infiltrated the expat groups of people who have Slovak roots, and I'm like, you guys should check out who is who in Slovakia and Czech Republic. Like, yeah. So
that's so cool.
They're watching.
You're promoting Slovakia.
I have
you're
to.
promoting English in Slovakia. You are like.
I have to, because there's so many people that are so negative about being born in Slovakia, and I'm always about perspective because I think a lot of people haven't seen what it is
Mm-hmm.
in different parts of the world and how lucky they are to live in a place like this, where the worst things that happens is maybe what happens every 2 hours in another place, you know.
Yeah.
But as we said, let's go with the introduction. For the people that don't know you, who the hell are you?
Yeah, and now the stress came. You predicted it because this is the hardest question for everybody.
Mhm.
It's like this
I think that I should,
transcendental stuff.
but I think that in the future I should tell people to prepare for it, right?
Yes.
I should write it, but it's
Yeah,
so much.
I'm marketing lady. I should know. But still, okay, I'll do it and then I'll react to
Sure,
that.
no problem.
Hi guys, I'm Petra, or some people know me as Pecosita. At
Which is a
Mad Monk.
Spanish word, no?
It is, and actually, where I came to this nickname was in the US, which is a funny story because I had a Spanish friend there. So, and I was really freckly
I
when
was
I
go-
was
I was
younger.
I was going to ask you about it because it's so random. Initially I thought that it was a Slovak word or a Czech word because we have many.
Uh-huh.
Like I will briefly tell you. No, I will say. Remind me to tell you about Tieta.
Okay.
So go ahead.
And I'm Petra, and I'm the marketing lady. Recently joined Mad Monk, which is the great company behind really healthy supplements for gamers. Not only though. And also, I'm co-founder of advertising agency Triad Prague. Triad is one of the best agencies in Slovakia, or maybe even the best.
You will have to tell me more about it because I'm very ignorant about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I admit it.
That's okay. And together with my friends, I co-founded Triad Prague 11 years ago and started from my living room. And now Triad Prague is one of the best agencies also in Czech Republic. So I'm really proud of that, but I don't work there anymore every day. I'm just the co-owner. And
It's a nice thing to have, though.
yeah, so this is business-wise. And other than that, I hope I'm a very nice lady, but also kind of strict boss and leader. But what makes me really happy is that the people who work with me, probably not everybody, but some of the people, I found their talents and I help them grow, and this is what I really like doing.
And that's really something that not many managers do. In my experience, over 15 years plus that I'm working in corporations, what I see quite often is that managers don't want their employees to grow because they need them to do the work.
Okay, but this is probably why I never joined the corporation.
You have been a smart lady.
Yes, I worked for many and I like them as clients, but I really am, I think, the agency, startup, smaller growing teams kind of person. Wow.
We have a new subscriber. Thank you,
Hi.
Alex. Thank you. We're going very fast. Yeah, and we'll get into that topic because I think from a startup perspective, I have no experience. I've always worked for the man. As you guys learned yesterday, to work for the man is to work in big corporation. Back to what we were mentioning about the words, right? Because pecosita, it means freckly.
Yes.
Somebody with a lot of freckles. But I wasn't sure if it was also a Slovak word because
Look,
there you go. Confirmed.
freckles all around my hands and
So we have
they actually moved from my face everywhere else.
really.
Yeah. But in the summer I have some still.
I don't have any freckles, but I do have red hair.
Where?
On my beard.
It's there.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the only one. Like I have so many, and it started after Duklok was here.
It's contagious.
It is contagious to be a ginger. But
I love being a ginger. I'm pretty sorry that I'm becoming gray, but I think it's pretty cool too.
You're becoming Jean Grey.
Wow.
You like the X-Men?
Yes.
Very good. That's a very good answer.
My man, my partner, not husband yet. For
If you
12
like it,
years,
then should have put a ring.
he tells me it's pretty sexy.
I like it. I have
you.
to be very honest. So back to, before I forget, the words that are similar, right? There used to be a store in Bratislava called Tieta, where Lidl is now.
Mhm.
But you know that the word itself in Spanish means boob.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I learned Spanish in university for 4 years.
I'm
But
glad that they didn't teach you those
we
things.
didn't. No, we didn't.
So I guess in the Slovak vernacular, and by the way, you are allowed to curse here, but
Okay.
only in Slovak, not in English.
Okay, this will be hard.
Yeah, that is something po
Can I
anglicky
swear
rule.
in Czech?
Anything other than English.
Okay.
You can do Czech. You can even do Spanish if you want. We can switch to Spanish if you want.
No, let's not, please.
But you can if you want.
Okay.
So the store Tieta, the word itself is, for us in Spanish, we read it as teta, which would be, I guess, cosa, cozy. I don't know the slang. So I took a picture in front of that store, not knowing that it was behind me. I was new in Bratislava, and I was sending pictures to my mom and my parents. I took the picture, and she was horrified. She was like, "Oh, Dios mío, where are you?" She thought there was some inappropriate shop. So
You do know how do you say drink? I think it's drink in Polish.
no,
Picha.
really,
I hope I'm not mistaken.
I-
Michal would know that. Michal from Edmonton, because he speaks.
actually,
Polish,
I
but-
think that you are. I heard it before, but even
No, it's in Croatian.
yes, in Croatian,
Yeah, but there is something similar in Polish, and I just got messed it up. Maybe.
Polish is funny.
Yes.
But there are more things in Slovak. Like, for example, like I was once on a bus, and there was a curve, right? And I was with a friend who spoke Spanish, and I said, "Ay, que curva!" Like, what a curve! And everybody in the bus is like, "What?
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy cursing?" Saying bad words. Or the first time that I heard the name of a soap opera, I think it was Laskovi Puta or something.
I think yeah, something like that. I'm not really fluent in this kind of shows, but yeah,
But
it's ringing a bell.
And I was like, what kind of show is this? Like, let's be careful. Let's not watch it.
Yeah, it's like in German, customers are Kunden.
It reminds me of
It's a good topic.
in Germany. There we had a guy who was working a sales manager in my previous job. His name was Rainer Kokot. Like, it was actual last name.
Good for him, I would say.
Yeah,
Nobody would forget him.
poor guy, for sure not. But anyway, we end with that, and let's dive a little into you.
Actually, somebody is mentioning that we have a chain drugstore called Teta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, and it used to be client of Triad actually, a few years ago for limited period of time.
You guys had quite a big clientele there
That's true. IKEA, for example.
as well.
Yeah. Or Plzeňský Prazdroj, several beers. The good beers.
Which
Pilsner,
are the?
Urquell, Gambrinus, Kozel, BL.
I was telling Roman yesterday that my favorite beer that's in a can, Plehoka, is Kelt. I don't know why. I don't
But
know
it's
why.
fine. Yeah, it's okay.
It can be. I'm a man of cheap taste. So somebody's gonna show me the
Simple.
Tieta store.
Cheap or simple?
Both,
Okay.
both. I would say. Somebody mentioned PHTS 3V Pro, that he's from Ireland, and he's watching us. So, as I told
That's
you,
so cool. Hi.
quite an international thing. So let's dive into your early life, your education. What part of Slovakia are you from, actually?
I'm from Záhorie, Zahoračka,
Wow.
Sejnica.
I was teaching in Záhorie for a few years,
Where?
in Malacky.
Malacky is like the real Záhorie, but Sejnica too.
Let me tell you something. I used to work in, Mali Trh,
Yes,
in Pozagas,
yes.
the company there. So, and I was horrified once when I was buying, because I was learning Slovak, and I had learned the numbers. I was new, and I had learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I practiced so much 5. Like, I was really proud of my 5. And I go there, and the lady's like, "Pat euro." I was like, "What? Pat amateur?"
I never heard about.
You never heard
no.
Pat?
But actually, yes, I'm from Senica, but I don't live there since I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I moved to Bratislava. I studied here in Bratislava, University of Economics, International Relations. I wanted to be a diplomat.
And what happened?
Maybe why I wanted to be a diplomat is because when I was 16, it was a long time ago, 99 and /2000. I spent a year in the US as an international exchange student, which was life-changing experience at that
Where?
time. In California.
Oh, wow. You're one of the lucky ones because everybody tells me, yeah, I was in Oklahoma.
At first, I thought I would go to Oklahoma or something like Idaho.
So for people that don't know the U.S., it would be, if you were comparing Slovakia, it would be going to, for example, Shala.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, I was in California. It wasn't a big city, but it was in Orange County. It was pretty good. It was a life-changing experience, not only because I was in the US and I learned English, but also I was a part of international club, and at that particular high school.
So this was high school.
High school, yes. I was 16.
Oh, wow. That must have been... we have to talk more about that.
Yes, I would like to encourage everybody to try this because it was actually my first time on a plane and I was traveling alone to the US.
How was your host family?
Wow, this is a good question because it's pretty exciting story when I look back at it. Actually, my host family, the first one, spoiler alert, they were part of some secta or very religious, but in a creepy way.
Oh God.
And they actually, after a month I was there, they said that, okay, if I don't join their church and won't go to their church school, because I was attending public school, and fortunately I was there with an international organization, so they said no, you have to stay at the public school.
That's insane.
And that's the experience. And they said, okay, we don't want you. So I actually had a pretty tough choice, or I could call my parents and tell them what's going on, or I could find myself new host family.
So you had to do the work.
Or the organization maybe would help me, but I actually asked at the high school, and I found a second host family. Very, very cool people. It was actually single mother, a nurse with 2 kids, and they were generous enough to take me in. And I spent one wonderful year with them, and it was awesome. They were not very wealthy, as some of my friends, from other host families. They were with those guys with swimming pools and really huge houses. We actually moved like 4 times during the year because of the rent.
Money?
Because of money, but it was really true love. So
are you still in touch with them?
Unfortunately, no. Because it was even before there was like very accessible internet here. Nobody remembers that, but I remember that it was even before Facebook, and emails were the cool thing at that time. And we lost touch. I don't know where. We were pretty in touch for like 10 years or so, but then I don't know what happened.
You need to go on a life journey to find them, to reconnect.
Okay, I will. Then I'll come here and tell you about it.
Or maybe we can record it and show it in the channel. Your journey. Look.
So if there is somebody from the US who knows the Toomey family.
Toomey. Maybe you will write it down and we can look in the... I can ask my parents to look in the phone book.
Tamara Toomey.
We need to look in the phone book because everybody's in the phone book. Look, Veronka Sh just became a member.
Hi.
Thank you, Veronka. Keep sending that peñas for Kiska and Dobry año.
Yes, please.
We need it.
It's a good organization. Very.
There was an excellent question, Petra, for you about what is your dream country to live in?
Italy.
Really?
But together with Czech Republic. Maybe some of the people didn't catch it, but I moved, or maybe I will continue with the story. So when I was at high school, I went to Gymnasium Senica. Then I spent a year in the US. Then I came back. And when I came back, I knew that I really like different people from different countries and cultures. And I wanted to help world peace. So I wanted to become a diplomat or a journalist, one of these two. Because I always liked writing and I wanted to, change the world, really.
I think we all do. We all do when we are young.
Yes. So I applied to journalism here in Univerzita Komenska and to Ekonomická univerzita, University of Economics, International Relations. It was a new faculty at that time. And I got to both. And then I had a really bad fight with my dad because he wanted me to have more options than just becoming a journalist, because he was probably right, but I was like, he doesn't want to pursue my dream, blah, blah. But then I was like, okay, fine. And it was a good choice because it was a really good program. It was starting, so the first group of the students actually getting there were pretty special, I think. We're still in touch. Some of them actually work in European Union or in really important institutions, also in Slovakia and for Slovakia. And so I studied international relations, but then I found out that it's very, becoming a diplomat, it's very long way, and there's a lot of steps you have to take. And I was always a pretty creative person and like not very, how to say that, administrative, loving, etc. So I was like, okay, maybe marketing or communication, PR would be the best part. Or the best choice for me, or something that would actually fit. And I really thought that it's not possible to get into PR.
Why?
Because I felt like you have to know somebody. It was in the early 2000s.
I'm surprised that you were worried about marketing and not being a diplomat, because there I would think that you need to know somebody to...
Yeah, you probably... I thought about both like that, and it usually worked like that before, but it was not really true. And what really helped me was that before I started working in marketing and PR, I was in PR agency. That was my first real full-time job. And before that, I started blogging at Smečko.
And
at that time, it was something like now is Twitch and streams. And we were pretty celebrities, I have to say.
How many people were reading your...
Thousands. Because it was part of Deník SME. At that time, there was Tomáš Bela, and the guys who actually are running Deník now. And they started this public journalism, or, regular people journalism. And I think it was really exciting times.
What is the piece that you're most proud of?
I don't really remember.
Okay.
But at that time, I also met my friends, and we started secret blog where we were not under our real names. It was called Fantastická štvorka.
The Fantastic Four.
Yes. And we were actually living together. It was me and my friend, a girl, and two gay guys. And it was really good times. And we were like writing about our life. Every one of us has... their own style and topics, and I really like that.
Did you guys do a reveal of who you are, or people don't know?
For me, people knew.
Okay.
Because I was Pekosita.
So they had to know.
For them, I don't really remember. It's complicated. It was complicated even a few years ago. It was like 15 years ago. Yeah, but blogging helped me to get into PR. And also the fact that I actually learned something po anglicky, because at that time it was not that common, because there were not many English teachers, It was not that common that people in Slovakia knew.
15 years ago?
Yeah, or 20 years ago.
15, that's when I came here.
Yeah.
To Slovakia. And I remember the reason that I got a job so quickly is because as soon as I was like, yeah, I'm an English teacher, I had a job immediately.
Yeah. Yes. At that time, English was opening doors. So I had
many
many
opportunities.
So I started to work in a PR agency, and I started to work for Microsoft actually, because I was speaking English and I was not afraid, because I joined the agency, now public, and after a week there, I was very young. I didn't know anything. but I was speaking English and I was not afraid. And they needed somebody to go to Kodaň. How do you say?
I don't know,
Denmark.
guys, but
Denmark.
Denmark.
How do you say it in English?
I don't know, guys. If you know, type it in the chat. We have a lot of people that Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Okay.
Oh my god. Diplomat, international relations. Oh my gosh.
Come on, you're not supposed to know everything, but
yeah. And they needed somebody to go there with the client to a conference about CRM systems and like this kind of stuff. I had no clue about, but I was not afraid. I went there, and the client said, "Okay, this is good." And then I worked for Microsoft for 3.5 years, and I learned a lot about PR and.
You needed that base, right,
yes.
in a corporation. So 2 things that are very interesting for me. One, you didn't study marketing.
No.
But you got to the job that you wanted.
Exactly.
Because that's a lesson that I think young people don't realize, that because you study something, you're not, I guess, in a box.
Yes, you don't need. Yeah, and nothing is guaranteed. Even if I studied marketing, I wouldn't have to be successful in it. So I just wanted it, and I think I took what I learned at the university. I think University of Economics in Bratislava or in Prague. This is a really good base for anything related to business. You don't need to study marketing to become good at marketing if you want to learn.
You need the experience.
You're not in the box. I worked during the whole time when I was studying, from the very first year. Here I could go out to parties only, and ruka hore.
Woohoo! I always tell people.
I worked and I got the experience. So when I graduated from university, I got the job.
And this is what I always tell people, that in my opinion, and you can correct me or tell me what you think, experience is more than the education.
I agree. And we are pretty lucky in Slovakia and also Czech Republic that when you want a job and you are pretty good at it, I think this is something we have similar to the US. If you don't have the exact education for that, okay, except like doctors and very specialized important stuff, then if you want to do it and you want to learn, you can get classes online, you can read whatever, and then you can just do it for somebody for free to help, or you can go to an internship, you can work for free. I have actually one story from Triad, Prague, when we started there. At first we thought I would be the only one and we would do the work here in Bratislava, and I will only manage it, but soon enough we found out that it's not working that well, and I was looking for help for an account manager, for somebody who would help me to manage the project. And one guy, Adam, he answered the inserat, oh my god,
the ad,
and he didn't have any experience. And then there was one more girl who actually worked in an advertising agency before. But I really needed the experience because I didn't have time to teach somebody. And he came back to me and he said, okay, I like something about this. I want to learn. Can I work for you for free? And I said, okay, you can do the internship. And we were like 3 people at that time in Prague. And right now, this guy is the head of strategy at Triad, and he stayed there for 10 years because he started to learn immediately. He started to work with social media. It was 11 years ago. It was really starting only. I remember he wasn't even going home. He was sleeping at the office. He was learning like every single day. And now I think he became one of the best strategy and media guys in Czech Republic.
That's what I always tell people. I've seen the story countless amount of times, and I always tell young people that you need to, for example, start even in an entry-level job. Because if you do 1 year, 2 years at any of the big companies, you can easily move and explore other things in different places, even in the same company if you want. The other thing I want to ask you about is English opening the doors for you, and how you think, if you agree that that's still the case for people.
I think it is. yeah, it became more common that people speak English. But sometimes I'm pretty surprised. You know, when I was hiring also people to Triad, sometimes I forgot to ask about it at the interview because it was I felt like it's something natural, like, you know, speaking. But then I found out that even people who claim that they speak English, that they had real struggle about it, and it's not like a huge problem, but it might be an obstacle. For example, when you have international clients and you need to present to them, and you speak English but you don't feel confident, then it's much harder to sell your idea or your concept or your strategy, and you need to rehearse more, etc.
And actually, you, Petra, you bring up a good point that I actually haven't discussed here before. And it's the fact that if you had to choose between fluency and not being afraid to speak, or having, somebody with perfect English but he's afraid to speak, which one is?
Maybe I will tell you a story of another
Please.
guy who worked in Triad even longer than me, although he's my brother. He started to work here in Bratislava as a junior, as an intern, and after a lot of years, then he moved to Prague. He started as an account manager, then he was a strategist, and then a creative director, and now he's in a different agency. But what I want to talk about is he always perceived not speaking English as his handicap, because in Senica, in Gymnasium Senica, in our hometown, there were no English teachers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so he couldn't actually learn English at school. So he learned German and Spanish, which are also good languages, but
Not as good.
English. So he is a samouk in English, and he was not very confident in it, and he perceived it as very big obstacle for him. And after 11 or 12 years in Triad, he took an opportunity in an international agency where his boss is American, and he needs to present in English. And at first he was really, really afraid, and now it's been a year, he's there. And now he can stand up in front of 100 people and present in English and feels pretty confident because he just overcame that fear and he started talking.
That's what I always tell people, that if you overcome and you speak, it doesn't really matter because you'll learn and you'll get better. And with presentations, it's a skill that you can practice and get better at as well.
Yes, it's not about the language only.
For sure.
But I have this. I totally understand him because I learned German for a lot of years. But now when I come to Germany and I see that the people I'm speaking to speak English, I don't speak German. It's the same as you and Slovak.
This is what I was telling you, that once I know that that you speak English, it's like half of my brain freezes and I can't come up with the Slovak word. So
yeah, but when I need to speak German because the other person doesn't, then I can talk.
the same with me when I go like to the east of Slovakia and I know the person doesn't speak English, then I have to. There is a question there in the chat and a comment. So, do Mad Monk and Triad have some kind of values and corporate culture?
Yes, they do. I think although those companies are pretty different in what we do, still it's very important for me to go to a company not only that have a great product or money or whatever or business plan, but also the values. For me, it's one of the most important things because I need to have my heart in what I do. I can't be good at something I don't like or with people I don't trust and I don't share the same values. So in Triad, Triad as an agency is, I think, pretty well known for the family atmosphere and friendly atmosphere and the values that are pretty deep. And at Mad Monk, they are pretty similar. Although it's a startup, it's really something different. But it's about not being comfortable, and this is what I like this challenger vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what Mad Monk and Triad have in common.
Like
and me.
Challenging what is there, the status quo.
Yes. Not like all the time and everything. If something is working and something is good, I'm I'm a fan of not challenging everything every day because you have to have something stable. But to get comfortable and to think that okay, what's working now is going to work tomorrow, and in 10 years it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And there's no fun in that for me. I understand that there are people who need stability and something that's boring, etc. But for me, working, I people talk a lot about work-life balance, etc. And I learned my lesson, and I can talk about burnouts and everything. But still, if I feel that the values and the culture is good for me, I don't need to divide it. Because for me, work and life is the same.
And I mean, somebody smarter than me said that, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
Exactly.
Which is always, look, very nice comment from Max there for you. Greetings from the Netherlands. Petra is an inspiring person. That's why she's here. That's why she's here. Guys, as you know, we have vocabulary today that we will be learning, and we're going to start with the first one right now. So, Petra, how this works is that I'm going to ask you questions. I will put you in situations. You don't need to you don't need to be truthful or anything. It's all fantasia.
Mm-hmm.
And don't try to find the phrase, just go with the questions, right? So let me start by asking you about, do you live in a house or do you live in a flat?
House.
Who decorated this house?
The previous owners.
So are you renting or you are owning?
We bought a house that was ready to move in because before we decided to buy a house, and actually I bought the house for my dog.
Okay. I understand.
Yes.
I thought that you bought an additional.
No, because I always wanted to have a dog, and Robert, my partner, he told me, okay, but a dog needs to have a garden. Are you willing to move from Prague or from this nice flat to a house? And I said yes, and we adopted a dog.
What's his name? What's Duncho's name?
Sam, and he's real Duncho. He's like this village mix shelter puppy.
Is he how cute is he?
Very cute.
And what is the thing that really made you realize that this is your dog?
Actually, one of my friends shared his picture as a puppy on Facebook. Sasha Šmíďáková, the founder of Sasha SK. I don't know if you know them.
Oh, but I should, apparently.
Yeah. Yes, she's very inspiring woman as well. And before that, I was sending pictures of puppies to Robert every day. And he's like, no, you work a lot. The dog would not be happy here. And then I shared this picture with him, and he said, oh, this one is cute. And I said,
can we have
and then I bought him a house with a garden next to a forest.
Was he one of those people that say, no, I don't want the dog, and then once they have the dog, they are completely in love with it?
He's completely in love with him.
You know that meme I'm talking about. Dad didn't want the...
yeah, I know. They are pretty good parťáci, buddies. But Robert is actually the one who taught him everything. I'm very soft because he's like so cute, and I'm like, yeah, you can do this, and he was the one who actually made him a good dog.
They need it because they can really get out of hand if they're too spoiled. So, okay, you moved into the house.
And I wanted to have a house that was ready to move in, because before that we were reconstructing an office for Triad, and I was so fed up with all this, organizing stuff with plumbers and everybody. So I said, no, I don't have energy for this. And we found this house. When I came there, I was like, this is it.
What kind of decorations do you have there?
Country house style.
And this was owned by a family or by, if I can ask?
Family.
It was a family.
And they built it for themselves in a really good quality. They lived there for 15 years. Very good house. You should come visit.
Thank you for the invitation. If you invite me, for sure. When you look at my decorations here, what's something that sticks out to you? Maybe not item, but when you think about the decoration, What kind of person do you think decorated this?
Colorful
Colorful
and
person. Yeah.
interesting
Mm.
and cute.
Do you see any? Could you tell if it was a guy or a girl who?
No, I think it's gender neutral.
I have a lot of I have a lot of figures here. I have a lot of toys and Nintendos. Now I think that more women are interested in this geek culture. It wasn't like that in the
Mhm.
past. Like it was really a high barrier to entry. But this is my inspiration without anybody's input. I think it would be better if somebody gave me input. Maybe if it had
Should I say it? Woman's touch.
a woman's touch. What do you what as a
Okay, yeah. When I look there, yeah.
so as a lady of culture, what would you add here so that this place has a little bit of a woman's touch?
A plant.
But it gets so hot. I think I would kill it.
Yeah, but Michal Noga will tell you he's got this. I actually don't know the name of it in English. Svokrine jazyky. So he doesn't water it at all.
And it lives?
Yeah, and it lives,
I need
and it's
this.
also cleaning the air. He would tell you more about it because he's very specialized in this stuff. But it's healthy to have this kind of plant in an environment where you maybe don't open the windows
I
regularly.
don't. Now
So
the question
this
is
would be good to have it.
the question is it toxic to cats?
I don't think so, but I would have to check.
That would be the only concern. That why I
Mm.
don't have plants because of cats, because they eat
Yeah.
what they're not supposed to
Okay.
all the time. But yeah,
Fake car from IKEA.
they would probably eat that too.
Okay.
So
but
we learn
it wouldn't harm them because it's just plastic.
you'd be surprised.
Okay.
So again, a woman's touch guy. Sorry, that's not focusing very well, but you heard the expression. We'll learn more as we go along. I want to just what did they write?
Exactly. But it's cleaning the air. Svokrine jazyky is such a disgusting plant. It reminds me of elementary school. Yeah, we all had it there because it's impossible to kill. That's probably the reason.
Max, if you know the English name of this plant, please put it in the
Yeah,
chat.
I would like to know that.
Can we take a step back and go back to your high school experience? Because I think this is probably extremely interesting for kids when they compare gymnasium and in high school. Tell me about your culture shock when you went to an American high school. What was different?
The first thing that was different was that in high school, I don't know if I'm like not being correct, but in Slovakia there is gymnasium, which is like this general education where the kids who are supposed to go to university go to get prepared, like this general education, and then there are specialized high schools,
Mm-hmm.
and in
They act like a
yeah.
trade school, I think.
Yes. And in the American high school, there were people who were preparing for university as well as the people who didn't want to go to university. So this was the first different thing. Then what I was really surprised about was the dress code
You had a dress code?
or the limitations, like although it was in California, it was 45 degrees outside. Girls couldn't wear like shirts without sleeves or shorts or something like this. And I was pretty surprised how conservative the Californian high school was.
Well, it's generally in the U.S. like that because it was funded by Puritans.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that because in the year 1999, all we saw was the show Beverly Hills.
90210.
Yes, and some teenage movies from high schools, and it didn't work like that in reality. And I was really surprised about this.
It's very conservative, for sure. So that was one thing, the dress code. What else was a bit of
What
a
was a
culture
good
shock?
thing, and I really, really, really liked it, was, for example, the level of the education. I would say physics. I took physics because at first I wanted my school here in Senica to actually um, take it and let me go, skip the year and count it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't because they were saying that, oh, it's not the quality of American schools. It's not so good. And now I'm like, no, that's not true. But physics, for example, we had 4 years of physics in gymnasium.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 year of physics I took in the US high school. And I learned like 20 times more, and I remember everything because the way we were learning, it was not only we were reading and memorizing stuff, but the teachers really want us to understand, and I really loved that. And also I took journalism there, and I learned to write in English also, although I was not a native speaker, and it was really.
Were you
really
part
cool.
of the newspaper?
Yes.
The school news. That's
The
another
school
thing.
newspaper, and I was actually designing ads. But
You were already starting with
in
marketing.
Microsoft Word.
Oh
You
God.
know, like I used. It's funny, but at that time it was okay. We were advertising like local restaurants and cafes.
And making money from it. Right?
Yes,
They paid for the
newspaper.
printing.
Yes,
Let me ask you about. Were you one of the kids that was reciting the Pledge of Allegiance
I was sitting down all the time.
for it? So this is something that's quite unique to the U.S. and I don't know why we have it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me like indoctrination, or I don't know what it is. But every morning, if you're in an American high school, you have to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So allegiance to the flag of the United States, right? And every morning is I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that's every morning that you have to say.
I know.
What was your impression of that?
I was really surprised by that. And also what I was surprised about was mentioning the God all the time. Because I'm not from a religious family, and this was really surprising. And I came from post-communism country, which was very, very young. It was 99, so it was only 10 years after the Velvet Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And it really triggered me in some way, because
In a bad way?
yes, it was like, okay, I came from somewhere where we were like under this oppression or what, and here I'm in a country that I perceived as very liberal and very
Not at all.
modern.
And
this was one thing that I was like, oh, what's this? But what was a good thing? Nobody ever forced me to do it,
Yeah.
and I could have the freedom of doing it or not.
And this is actually, at least in my experience, I never saw anybody not do it, because we never saw it as something oppressive. It's something that we wanted to do. I don't know, but
Maybe this was a harsh word I used, but it was what I was experiencing before, because
Oh, I
I started
understand
to
then.
go to elementary school in 89,
Mhm.
and we were these pioneers and iskričky and all that, and this reminded me something from it. I can't even explain it. It was an emotional reaction.
This is exactly why I wanted to ask you for that, how you perceive these things, because to somebody who's outside, it is a shocking thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you make a great point with the fact that there is so much misconception to the US. You are not really as free as you think there.
Yes, I don't know if we want to talk about, like the first thing was with the first host family that shocked me. And then there was this situation where I had a friend from Spain, and he was pretty introverted, but a very, very nice guy.
Like me.
Yes.
But I am.
Yes, I know. You are introverted.
Mhm.
Okay, I wouldn't guess that. And we had a teacher there who was running the international club, and they were pretty good friends. And someone didn't like this, or there was this like impression that there's something not good going on between them,
Like inappropriate.
inappropriate. and they actually moved this guy from the school and from the state, and they found him a new host family in Washington, just because of an accusation that was not actually proved.
Oh well, this is
And this like really sensitive stuff about like sexual relations, etc. It really shocked me, because this I was 100% sure that nothing was going on.
again, this brings back my own experience. I used to teach in Spain, in Barcelona. I was working at a public school teaching toddlers. So between the ages of between 4 and 5 year olds, right? And beautiful working with them. I loved it, and I was teaching them English. So I had puppets, and like, because I really enjoy working with children. But to me, when a child would hug me, I was genuinely uncomfortable, because we've been conditioned that you just don't show affection to kids because it can lead to somebody thinking the wrong thing. And one of the worst experiences in my life, but also went on to become the best experience, and I think I've never told this story, so are you ready?
Oh, yes, I'm ready.
I was working with the children, and I was, the parents were coming to take them home, and I was left with one girl. Just the one girl. She was about 4, and she just started to remove her underwear and show me. And I was like, what do I do? Like, if somebody comes in, and like really freaking out, because it just would take somebody walking in and it would ruin your life in the US.
Yes.
And I just left the room immediately, and I immediately went to the director, and I told her the story and what happened, and she laughed. She laughed at me, and she explained that at this age, kids, they're doing these things.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing to be freaking out. But when you are conditioned to how it is in the States, it's never like, kids wanted to be hugged and to sit on your lap. It was just something that is unheard. And it's unhealthy, because kids need to be kids, and also people need to be people. Not everybody is. So,
So this was the thing that really shocked me in the US.
I'm not surprised. Not surprised about it. And maybe some of the more positive things.
Yes.
Snake plant.
Yeah, snake plant. Okay. The positive things were really the way the teachers actually approached what they were teaching, because it's been a really long time since I'm not at high school, but here it was like the teachers hated their jobs, most of them, and they were like being there, bored, yelling at the kids, and we were memorizing stuff that was useless without understanding it. And in the US, this 1 year, it really helped me to understand stuff, to learn present, to actually think critically, to have an opinion, to speak my mind, to read books and understand books and discuss books. It was really great experience. I would recommend it to everybody.
Everybody who wants to do it. Guys, we're going to be looking at the chat in a bit. So please start getting your questions ready. And moderators, if there are any questions in the Discord, could you please post them here? Just so we know. Hi, Cynthia. Another one of our moderators is here. Welcome. She's the one that designed the emojis.
Hi, you are very good.
Very talented.
Do you want to work for me?
You want a job? She needs a job,
yeah,
actually.
we need a graphic designer at
So,
Mad Monk.
Cynthia, send your CV.
Please. Petra at Mad Monk GG.
Yeah, so we will organize it. Maybe she can get us an internship.
Yes.
And,
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
So we'll get her started with an internship. She's really, really talented. She will feature her designs on my T-shirts. I'm working now with Go Merch too.
Wow, cool.
And I hope they look really good. I will show you afterwards.
Okay.
This is the time where we're going to sign the PC. So just choose anywhere that you want to sign.
I hope I'm not going to ruin the...
No, you won't. But you can come from here if you want and do it. So while she's signing the the PC guys, could you please type the questions? Do you need somebody for writing articles as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so also, Nati, we can look into internship opportunities.
Yes, we need to produce a lot of content, and we also need people who would help us do TikToks.
TikToks are crazy.
Yes, it's so fast.
Yes, Nati, it's true. Like Petra doesn't lie, so
No, I never. No. Okay, I try not to lie.
at least not on the not on the podcast.
No. Yeah, but we really are looking for people who would help us because we are growing. We need to produce. We have a lot of know-how, and Michal is really, really a guy who has a lot of wisdom, and we need to get it out to the world, and it's not easy without people who can do it. And we have really, really great senior team, Jerry and Flash, and now one of my ex-colleagues from Tria joined Mad Monk. I'm really, really happy about it, and I think there is space for everybody to help us. So
space for people to learn. Nati,
that's cool.
Yeah, it will be learning experience for you. Everybody wins, I think.
Yes.
What do you think of those platforms? So maybe we can just segue since you mentioned TikTok.
Ciao, Vosa. Vosa, ahoy. Vosa is creative and strategy director of Triad, Czech Republic and Slovakia. He's the most famous and the best creative director in the region.
Martin, podcast?
I think he would be great guest.
Martin,
He's funny.
Please, I will write you. Is he on Instagram?
Yes, but he doesn't post there very much. I think his most favorite social network is Strava.
I don't know Strava.
It's like this. I mean, neither that much, but it's for people who run a lot. They are sharing their routes and like pictures.
I love niche communities when
Yes.
people. That's the one thing probably the one good thing about the internet, meeting
Once a
people
month,
with your
he's on
interests.
Insta.
So Martin, I will slide into your DMs. Please read them, and maybe we can make it happen, and you could join us here. I think be a very inspiring story. Maros Canas. Today I have a name them. Congratulations, Maros.
Yeah, and even Vosa Martin has his name's day, and I was with him today, and I forgot to wish him.
So you can wish him now.
Všetko najlepšie, Vosa.
So today is Martin and Maros.
I think so.
Hey there, Wilcorn. Wilcorn is a member of the channel. Thank you for supporting us. We thanked you in the beginning of the podcast. So thank you once again.
I was here, yes.
But look, Martin says that he likes to make TikToks.
Okay, I will hire you.
Name
I
days.
hope we can afford you.
I'm sure you can. Name days are overrated. It's a very traditional thing in this part of the world. I never heard about it before.
About what?
Name days.
Name days? Yeah, actually.
Meniny, no?
Yeah, meniny. I'm not the biggest fan of it because in Slovakia, actually, my name's day is together with Peter and Pavel. One day. It's like half of Slovakia have meniny in one day.
But
so I don't feel special at all. Sorry.
And people always forget mine because for some reason, guys, please learn it once and for all. Michal is Miguel. Is the same. So when Michal has name day, Miguel has nickname. So send Miguel your presents.
Yes.
Your congratulations as well. And also to Michal Noga.
Yeah, Nati, you can slide into my DMs.
Sure, lady. So Nati.
Or Instagram, Pekosita.
Yes. Look, she put it there.
Oh.
Michal equals Miguel. Yes, thank you. So Nati and Cynthia, we will talk after and we will. Wilcorn.
Yes.
The MVP. Petra, you're bringing out the best on my
That's good.
watchers. Thank you.
But that's my gravity.
We need more members for sure. For sure. Ooh, wow. A lot of people got memberships. Guys, if you're getting in the gifting train, you can do the same and make somebody's day. So we discussed, I wanted to go back to your opinion about these platforms, especially TikTok.
Oh, yeah. to be completely honest,
Please.
sometimes I feel pretty old when on TikTok. But on the other hand, I can
All the
spend
time.
I can spend 2 hours there,
Really?
just like going through it. And also Instagram Reels, etc. I think that I don't need to, know how to do it by hands to understand that it has potential and that people, and especially young people, are consuming information from there.
So much.
We can actually cultivate the platform by putting quality content there that is not harmful even.
You know,
And especially the algorithm, it's built, based on your behavior and based on what you are looking for. And one of my favorite topics when I was in advertising, and I was a part of also Association of Communication Agencies, and I led a working group. It was a volunteer position, but I led a working group called Ethics in Advertising and Communication, and one of the topics was brand safety and fight against disinformation. And I think social media is a big part of the disinformation scene, and it's very dangerous.
especially Facebook.
Yes, but also TikTok, because it's not moderated. It's everything, anything anybody puts there can be viewed. So what I think about TikTok is, although I'm not good at making those, I think we should be doing it also for MedMonk,
For sure.
because there's a lot of really good information that can actually help prevent disinformation or like this hoax,
There's
this
ma-
whole bullshit stuff.
Somebody
So
wrote it there. Look, mostly on TikToks there are pichovinas,
Yeah,
but sometimes I
yeah.
cannot find the inspiration for my future books or for new books I can buy one
Yes.
day. But I hate that algorithm.
Yeah, because for me, all I have there is puppies, and
I will
I
admit.
like puppies though. But
Well, who doesn't? And
yeah,
if you
but then
don't,
I have to spend 5 hours there. No, because you cannot turn it off when there are puppies.
I don't watch TikToks on purpose because I know that I will deep dive into that hole and I will never come out of it.
It's addictive, and that's why it's made like it.
So I really I made it like my mission to never look at TikToks. I just create them.
Ah, that's a nice strategy.
Actually, look, I have 2.37,000
Wow,
followers
cool.
it's slowly growing, but actually it's a platform that allows you to grow. And actually, you know that I have some TikToks there with Duklok,
Mm-hmm.
and those explode like 60,000, 70,000. That's something that Matt Monk should do. Leverage those.
We have some TikToks with Dushan too.
Do you?
Look at them.
I need to check.
They have a lot of views.
Look, Pauli B, Wilcorn. Oh, God, thank you so much, my brother. Yeah, thank you, Wilcorn, for those donations. You know, one day I really liked one quote about depression, and now I have TikTok full of depression quotes. It's making me nervous.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That algorithm, for sure.
But it's most of the algorithms in most of social platforms, because what the platforms need is for you to spend a lot of time there, so they can advertise to you.
If you think, Petra, so it's time to get into a little more of a technical thing. There's been recently, I don't know if you read the news, Facebook laid off like
Yeah, I read it.
a huge amount of people because of the loss in revenue. So do you think that the platform has a future?
That's an interesting question. I think it does if they change approach in some ways, and if they are going to focus more on quality instead of actually selling the time of people and the attention of people. I know they were, and I'm not talking only about Facebook. I'm talking about Meta as a company, including Instagram, and if they create an environment for creators who will actually be able to create stuff that will have some value, and they will do it transparently, and they will do it fairly,
Not
and
Mark
they
Zuckerberg.
might have a future, but they would have to do it fast.
And I think the biggest thing for me, the issue I've always had with this platform has been the lack of moderation.
Yes, and the responsibility. It's actually connected to the disinformation and brand safety. I was talking about before, and what's really interesting is that, especially in Slovakia, and you probably read it, is that even American Congress was afraid of, like the impact of what's going on Facebook and the impact it has on Slovakia, and the propaganda stuff in connection with Ukraine and the war. I don't want to go into this
For
because
sure, yeah.
It should be but
But
it's
these
very
are good
dangerous.
discussion. It
It's
is.
very dangerous, and also for brands, as a marketing person, uh, it's really important to be cautious, or to be responsible as brands and as advertisers, what content you actually want to have your ad next to, etc.
And this is why it's also important also to monitor, because I don't
Yes.
know if you know, in Slovakia right now there's a controversy with Lego and the store
and
Dracik.
Mm-hmm.
I was personally disgusted
Mm-hmm.
by the whole thing, because I know that people are conservative about the different communities. In this particular case is the LGBTQ community. I always think that just let people be happy. Like,
Yes.
why do you need to spend energy telling people what not to do, or trying to ban things? Like, just be happy with your life. Like, you don't, believe me, you don't want to live in a country that limits things. That's not the kind of place, because it starts with that, and then
Yes.
it goes to
And
other
the history showed that, and that's one thing. When I come back
Mm.
to the US, what I really liked about my year there was the history class.
I studied history.
Yes, that's a cool, because I think that now it's getting pretty philosophical,
But it's okay. Our people expect it.
what's really really bad, and what I was really sorry about, is that in our education system we are not learning enough about 20th century and 21st century, and our recent history. We spend so much time. I understand it, like to study Pravek. I don't know what's the word in English.
If you guys know it, type it in the chat.
Yeah. Like the long, 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 long old history. But then we spent only like few weeks on the World War II, and after that we didn't even have time to do that, because then there was Maturita, and
That's a shame.
only the people who wanted to go to university where you needed history actually went through it. But most of the students, they didn't even have to. So
It's a
there's
shame,
a
because
lot of young people who actually have no idea what was going on.
it's a shame, because to me that's the most interesting. Okay, not the most interesting, but one of the most interesting parts of
Yes, it's the most
history.
interesting, and also the one that we should learn from.
I also think the approach is different, and again, you've been opening my eyes the whole evening. So you brought up a good point.
Prehistory. Thank you.
Yes, you brought up a good point about how teachers approach things, right? And one thing that I was really lucky early on, why I went for history, is I met a teacher that took history a different way. He wasn't interested in us memorizing dates and useless things. He was interested in us learning trends and just understanding where things fit, right? Just to have a general understanding that World War One came before World War Two. You don't need to spit out dates or facts, because it's
Exactly.
useless.
There's a thought that came to my mind with this, when we were talking about managers who don't want people to grow.
Yes.
And I never had this like barrier. What I really loved, always what I loved, was when someone came and learned and became much better than me. because this is how your company could grow. This is maybe the entrepreneurial part of me. Because if I am going to be the limit of my people, I'm going to be the limit of my company. And this is the same with teachers. If they want the society to evolve, if they actually teach in a way for people to understand and grow, instead of, this is just check, and this is what I have to do and that's enough. And maybe I was witnessing this every day, where the teachers instead of motivating the students or pulling them up, they were how
pushing them
down, or like beating them to feel small. And this is something that I'm really sorry about, because this has tremendous consequences in the society. And if managers do it in companies,
and they
it's
do
the same.
They do. And I think teachers do it much the same as, for example, when you meet a rude SBS guy, or when you meet a rude person at a restaurant. They're in a place where it's the only place in their lives that they have some power. And they just want to use it, right? Because they want to, in the rest of their lives, they have no control. And I think it's frustration that leads into
it definitely is. It's frustration in the system, because they have a lot of things that actually don't make sense anymore, and they have to do it. They have to teach in a certain way. And I admire teachers who stayed in the school system and who actually love their jobs and who don't give up. Because I am pretty tough in some things, but I don't think I could
deal with teens.
Not only teens, but also with the system, and
I mean,
the underfunding and all that.
I don't know if you know the situation in the US, but you have teachers there that even spend their own money to buy supplies.
Yes, I experienced these teachers. These were the best. And I experienced those, not so many, but also in Slovakia. I have to be fair.
It happened.
There were people who changed my life, who believed in me. And
is there anybody that maybe one story to share, some positivity about Slovak teachers too?
Yeah, I would say my English teacher, Mrs. Pecňová, from 3rd elementary school in Saints. I don't know.
So kudos to her. Kudos to her.
She actually embraced my love for languages and for English, and she encouraged me to learn. And I met her after I came back from the US, and even during the university, and I met her somewhere in some kind of public institution in Senica.
She wasn't teaching anymore?
No, we just met.
Oh, okay.
In the hallway, because I was there doing some paperwork or something like that. And she told me that she met my mom in a store, and she told her that I was successful, and she was so happy. And when I think about the teacher who changed my life, it's her. And I think I have several like that. And there's one more. It's in Gymnasium Senica, my history teacher, actually, Mrs. Petra, because she was that kind of teacher who didn't want us to memorize stuff, but to understand. And yeah, she was really cool.
It's always good to highlight good teachers, guys. So if you know these people from Senica Gymnasium, does it have a name, the school, or just
Gymnasium Senica?
That's it.
Gymnasium.
Go give them a kudos, because definitely when you think about these two ladies, if you compare them to other lady teachers, what is the difference?
I think the difference was that they really liked their job. They liked kids, and they were willing to see the potential instead of some boxes.
Do you think that in other settings they would have been the same? Whatever they chose to do?
These two ladies, you mean?
Yes.
I honestly don't know. I think it was just that they chose the job and they wanted to do it.
So in teaching they were
a woman among women.
Yeah.
Women.
Among women.
Among women.
Yeah. So in this case,
I didn't know this phrase.
Yeah, I'm glad. So
Yeah,
now you know it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you pick up a new phrase because hopefully they learn and hopefully you walk away with something nice too. We're both learning here. Nati's right. I get it. I have the same problem but different subject because I have to learn civics, which I need for my future education. In secondary school, we have just civics 2 years and then nothing. Yeah, and I think civics is a relatively new course, right? It wasn't
think so.
mandatory.
I don't think I had it.
I remember that there was a huge controversy, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago when it was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Because something about being proud of being Slovak was sometimes it's like fui for people. I don't know why.
Oh, this is a very nice topic actually, because in marketing we are dealing also with some briefs for from our clients that it was about national pride or something like that.
And what were your
we found
findings?
our findings were that our cultures, Czech and Slovak, sorry, were really specific in this. That when you say I am proud, Slovak or Czech, that it doesn't come naturally to us.
No, it doesn't.
Although we have things to be proud of.
A lot.
A lot. And I see it in Czech Republic because I'm not actually from there, but I live there and there are so many great things because I can compare, and also I travel a lot. And when you tell them this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, they are pretty surprised, and then they are like, yeah. And even the beer and there are so many cool stuff also, so many cool things also from Slovakia, but sometimes we forget about them.
Do you think that this, or maybe what do you think this is due to? Like, why is there no pride in
I
the
think
motherland?
it's history. I think it's the communism era, where it was not cool to be proud of the nationality or your nation, because we were all one bunch, blah blah. And I think it's in our culture. It's not only about national pride, but it's also about how hard it is for us sometimes to, be proud of ourselves as people. And I was struggling with it. I now I go to therapy for 3 years, and I would recommend it to everybody.
I want to explore this topic with you because you are not the first to tell me.
Yeah, it's the duševné zdravie. Oh my OMG.
Mental health.
Mental health. It's a topic that
See, my
it's
Slovenčina.
good one. It's very underrated, and also it's also a thing that we are talking about at Mad Monk.
It's a taboo.
Yeah, it's a taboo because it's not like visible, like when you break your leg or when you are really sick, like in terms of physical health, it shows, and everybody is like sorry for you and wants to help you. But with mental health, it's different.
I experience it now because as I told you about my work situation, and for those watching, like there's now bloodbath in IT and these corporations, and I was fired for the first time in my life. And it's really taking like I am mentally tired.
Yeah, that's
And
natural and it's normal, and it's really good to know that it's normal and talk about it with someone. But in terms of like being proud, or I had a real problem to actually take credit for my success before, and I was always expecting like praise from outside and to validate my value. And therapy really helped me in realizing who I was, and what I achieved, and that it's not nothing.
I had this challenge too.
I had to actually learn to say, okay, this was my success and I contributed. And today we had a meeting with my colleagues and with Vosa and all the other co-owners, and I said something like this, that this was my achievement, and they were like, wow, yeah, cool, good for you saying it, because they couldn't get me doing it before.
But this I have direct experience. It seems like everything you tell me I have I have an example. But so the team that I was working in, one of the two guys actually that were reporting to me directly, they're following me, and we are in the community Discord as well, and one of them started streaming. But one of the things that was a challenge, was to change their mentality to the fact that they can show their success. Because what they were used to is that a manager comes in, takes their work and presents it as their goal. But I'm a little bit proud, and I need to brag about it, that I think that I made a change where they take ownership of the work and they are proud of the work that they do. And you can see that that also improves the performance, because they have a, how do I say it? They feel like it's their work, and they want to do it better because it reflects
the
them.
ownership is very important, and we are also we have a Slack bot. One thing at Mad Monk is when somebody writes, "We are waiting for something," that it says the ownership picture.
I need a
really
bot
love
like that.
I really love that. Because but I think this is also cultural thing, and it comes from education and from the fact that we were taught to be in a box and not to be different than at school, and also not to take pride in what we achieve and that we might be different, and we have to learn this. But when you have ownership and when you know that something is your work and your job and you have power over it, then you do more. You go the extra mile. I actually believe that most of the people are really great and that they have potential.
You have to find what they're great at.
Yes. Or help them find it. You
So
cannot do it for them. You can see it and you can embrace it, but that's also what I learned. That sometimes what I was making one mistake in my leadership when I was younger and more junior, and it was that I was actually taking responsibility for problems of my people, and I wanted to solve them for them. And then I read one book. I don't remember the name. It doesn't matter. But there was this thought that it's actually not fair for me, because I'm taking away the chance for them to learn, to make a mistake and to learn. And if I solve their problems,
they would never learn.
yeah.
And I take this approach that also another thing, behavior that people have, I noticed here, is that they, whenever there is an issue, they look for who to blame. And I always made it a point as a manager that I don't want you to come to me with a problem. I want you to come to me with the solution of how you think we can solve this problem.
Yeah, that's what we are saying too, and what I'm saying and Michal is saying, because I can give you a solution. Yeah, I have more experience, but it doesn't mean that the solution is the best. And what are you going to learn from it? I can disagree. I can correct it. But if I do it instead of them, then what's going to happen? That I'm going to be burned out.
And aren't people shocked when you tell them that? Aren't they shocked?
Yes, and you need to repeat it several times. And I have to blame our educational system for that, because mistakes are not, embraced in our educational system. Mistakes are taken as something fatal. You get a bad grade, and then it's actually affecting your overall grade, and it's affecting your acceptance to university or something, or your value. It doesn't mean that we should be different in this, I think.
Yeah, I think in again, another good thing is that the fact that Slovak and Czech society have been so homogeneous in a way, I think it leads away from the fact that diversity, embracing it, leads to better results.
Exactly. That's also my very personal topic. It comes to women in business, because we were talking about it also with my colleague, the CEO of Triad in Prague, who I hired when she was junior, and now she's the CEO, and I'm really proud of her. Magda, hi, if you are there.
Hi, Magda. Shout out to Magda.
And we were talking about the fact that sometimes we hear like these little comments, like when there is a successful woman, even in marketing or advertising, people are calling them karieristka, or it's something that's not perceived like positively. But on the other hand, in in the good agencies, for example, there is a lot of women in leadership, or different kind of people, LGBTQ people, different nationalities, and this is where the most creative and most cut-through work comes from.
This is a challenge that I have now with this podcast, and it's only with women. Actually, sadly, that when I invite guests that are male, they have no issue coming in. But I've had some female guests just not want to come in because they straight up say that there's so much hate, and they think that if we come and make a mistake in English, that they would just suffer for it. And it's sad.
Yeah, I think I read about it, and I think it's a different story. It's also this patriarchy, conservative, whatever. And it's that the girls are taught to be perfect, and to be nice, and to be neat, and to be clean, and not to talk too loud, not to laugh too loud, not to be angry. And it shows after several years. It's or the lack of confidence, or different issues. For me, I'm pretty sensitive person, although I'm in business and in a tough business, and in startups, and I like doing business, and I like to have results. I like to have profit. But on the other hand, I'm sensitive, and sometimes showing emotions, it's not okay. But the emotions, everybody shows emotions. Everybody has emotions, and if we are saying that it's not okay and it's not normal, we are denying us to be people. But for women, it's even harder, because when you are tough, then they tell you are karieristka.
And they also
and if you are not, then they say you're soft. And you're like, okay, so what do you want?
And they always turn it to, I had to go through training on this because you have these unconscious bias as well, but they turn it to, oh, she's emotional, which is probably the biggest insult that you can make to.
Yeah, I heard it several times in my career.
Definitely not good. So Wilcorn is asking.
But I'm proud of it.
That's what makes you you. Wilcorn is asking if it's possible to invert the video. Ria, no, is tripping me. So the video is set so that we can, when we do something, it's like a mirror, right? Yeah, Wilcorn, I will play with it, and I will change it, but not right now, because if I learn one lesson about podcasting, is not to change anything during the the podcast, because anything that could go wrong will go wrong. Nati made some good. Maybe you wanna read those, Petra, if you can.
But thanks to my school, school, I study marketing and management, and a lot of useful stuff. So I think I can do it. Yes, you can do it. Continue. We need more talented people in marketing and management, and more women as well. A lot of people have potential to become someone great. They just have to find out what it is and how to improve their skills every day. Exactly. And how to do it in flow. If you are familiar with the term, I learned also that I can do and I can learn anything. But there were things that I really was learning, and it was painful. It's okay.
I'm checking the question. So.
Yeah, hard work is really important for people to grow up. But on the other hand, you don't need to suffer to be successful. And I think that's also in our culture, you have to suffer, you have to work hard, you have to sweat, and there needs to be tears. And if there are not tears, you're not working hard enough. And I think there needs to be a limit to this. When you are young, I would suggest for young, talented people to work as hard as possible and to learn as much as possible. Because after 30, you will become tired and lazy.
I already feel the.
Or I don't know.
I already feel the weather in my bones.
That's good. Yeah, there are actually gurus in marketing or management who say, and I believe them, that in the early stages of your career, it should be about quantity, so that you learn fast and you learn a lot. But later on, it should be about quality. It's not about how much you work, but what the quality is.
Sandy's hello, Vendo waving, hi. LM official hi. And I don't know, Petra, what is your function in Monk Company?
I'm CMO, I'm Chief Marketing Officer. I actually took this function after one of the co-founders, Petra, who is my friend because he also owns an advertising agency, and we know each other from long time ago. We met at some party after bar camp in Brno, and we were dancing. I don't know.
Was that the interview?
No, it was long time ago, and we know about each other, and we met several times, and we had nice talks. And he is the co-founder, and he's the partner of Michal at MadMonk, and now he switched his role to Chief Business and Innovation Officer because he's really good at like spotting what's going to work and the trends. And I'm really glad that he came to me and he asked me to join MadMonk.
That is such a skill, like being able to tell what's coming.
Yeah, and also what I think is such a skill or a great thing for people to grow is to give up your position and to move somewhere else and to hire somebody else and give them space and let them do it.
It's a difficult thing to do if you're comfortable.
It's really difficult. I had a really hard time with this also because when I started Triad in Prague, I was working on it as it was my child, it felt like it's mine, and I put a lot of energy and time in it, and it was hard to let go of some things. And I think it's the cycle of leaders also, and for entrepreneurs. At first, you are doing everything yourself, and naturally, you think you are the best at doing it because you know every single detail and you put everything into it. And as you grow, and as your company grow, it's really hard to let go of some things.
This is something that where I actually can't relate because I don't have the drive to build something of my own. I don't know why. I like working for people with vision, and I will, fight for them and do whatever. But if it comes to me starting something, I don't like risk.
I actually didn't start Triad on my own. I just started it in Prague. But there was this vision I liked. I understand what you were saying. But there, I was the one who was actually there, but I didn't do it alone at all. I had three partners, and they were developing Triad here in Bratislava, and we were working on it together. And there are also some other companies and startups that came from this ecosystem. So I really like this about it. I don't think I'm like this starting up kind of person. Like I have an idea and I'm going to do it. But I'm good at helping people grow their business.
This is me.
Yeah.
And I that's why I always need somebody inspiring.
Yeah.
I need to be inspired.
And I need to believe in in these people. And for me, Petra and Michal, it's these guys because they have the vision. There was a question in chat, how long have you been working for MadMonk? It's not that long. It's been 4.5 months. But I feel like it was 10 years already.
Oh, you guys are a fast-moving company.
Yeah, that's the first thing. And also, I really dived deep.
That's the difference, because I come from, like, organizations where they're like dinosaurs. Change takes forever. And I imagine that for you, every day is a new adventure.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's very new. In some ways, it's not at all. And I have experience, like in leading creative teams and finding the system, etc. But in some other ways, I'm learning a lot, and that's why I actually changed because I could have gone to a different agency or do something in advertising agency or something like that, and I might get back to it when I'm 50 or something. I don't know, but I really felt like I want to learn something new.
Look, Delhi, my brother worked at Triad a few years ago. Who is your brother?
Tell me, what's his name?
So while we wait for the name, there's some questions on Instagram. What is your favorite thing about MadMonk?
The mission to bring more health into gaming world, and the passion of the people who are working there. And Michal.
I have to say that all the people are unique, and yeah, I fell in love with Michal when he was here. I almost didn't let him go.
Yeah, I understand that that's the effect he has on people.
Very charming guy.
Hello, Dushan, who had his also in his recast, and they were talking like 3.5 hours, and I think they could go on until morning. And
Look, Sharka is here.
Yeah, ciao, Sharko.
Vitajú nás, Sharka. Welcome. Vilo Janošik.
Yeah, I know him. He's a very talented video guy.
Congratulations, Deli, on having a talented brother. I hope you are following in his footsteps as well.
Sranda. Exactly. My brother was working with me in Triad. It was really interesting experience actually to be the boss of my younger brother.
Did he respect you in the job, or did he try to be?
I think in some ways he had a really difficult situation because he had to prove himself to other people much more, because people could have thought that he
Nepotism.
Yeah.
I can imagine that it could look, but
yeah, but we did some great things together. We actually shot an advert with David Copperfield in Las Vegas together. Or he was there, I was not there, but it was the idea of the team he was leading, and we did this. It seemed impossible. You know, when you come to such an idea to a client in Czech Republic, and you say, David Copperfield could do it, and you think, okay, we can tell them, but here's a safe concept. And we were lucky enough to have a client who is also a great friend of mine, who said, "Oh, this is genius," and he made it happen.
But this goes back to my philosophy in life, and maybe I would like you to comment on my philosophy. And I will send you my article, because I wrote an article about it. It's called "Not Being Afraid to Hear the Word No."
Yeah.
And in my career, working everywhere, like I've always gotten what I want because I ask.
I have to be honest, is that I am afraid of the word no, or that somebody would refuse me, or somebody would tell me that I'm not good enough. This is something I'm working on. I'm working on in therapy.
And when you take the power away from the word,
yes,
it will change your life.
Yeah.
In so many ways. There is another comment here. I've never heard about Mad Monk till Duklok started to propagate Mad Monk products. Do you think that people would start buying them even without propagation in videos or stream?
No, if they don't know about it, then they will not buy it.
I didn't know about it as well, but I tried it and it changed. Because I believe me, I don't believe in these like G Fuel and stuff like that. Like I was never like interested in that stuff. But
me neither, actually. But with Mad Monk is different. That's why I'm there, because as I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, I really when I work, I need to believe in it. And this was also when we were talking about the values of Triad. We had really strict policy on what kind of clients we are going to work on or work with and what not, and which not. And we never forced our people to work for clients they had ethical problem with. And I would never promote Mad Monk if I didn't believe in it. And I'm not trustworthy because I'm employed there, but it really works for me, and I really believe in it. And I really believe Michal wouldn't sell anything that would be perfect, because he's like improving the product every single day. He's like going around. He has different, and different iteration, and this one has a little bit more of this, and try it. And what does it do? How does it taste?
I like the new flavor.
It's the
of Champion.
Yes, it's good. Yum, yum.
It is an improvement. And actually, I have to tell you that what was my issue, and maybe this is valuable feedback for you guys. My entry level concern with Mad Monk and Champion was I had no idea how to take them.
Or suck it or chew it.
That's one thing, but also like how many you're supposed to take, when, and like some guidance on the best results. That's what I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is somewhere once you order it, but beforehand
Okay, that's a good tip. Thank you.
Because this would be good for people, I think, to know how to best take it, right? Somebody was asking why I don't have the Mad Monk And just the champion because I take the champion every day.
Yeah,
Because
that's
of
for
the vitamins.
everyday use.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And Mad Monk, I don't have any at the moment because my cat dropped them all on a puddle. So I need to
Aw.
buy more. But
Yes,
I like
please.
it too. I like it too.
Yeah, it actually what it helped me with is also like the mental balance. I have to say that I feel much more because I'm going to be really like open now.
Please.
When I'm tired and stressed out, I cry. You know,
That's your release.
yeah, that's my release. Some people they have sweaty hands, or there are different. For me, it's like tears dropping down. It's not very comfortable in business,
Hmm.
if you can imagine.
I can.
But this is something when I came to Medbank, and I said to Michal, when you see me crying, it's just that imagine that just my hands are sweaty when I'm like when I care deeply about something. And when I am stressed or tired, when I don't take enough sleep or something, because sometimes it happens to me, although I'm trying to work on this. And this is so funny because he was like, yeah, okay, thank you for saying that. And then sometimes he sees when it's coming and he's like, I see your hands might be sweating, And it helped me so much because then I didn't feel guilty. And actually, Mad Monk and Champion, they helped me with that. Maybe I think it's like I know that there is something to help you with mental health to keep the balance. I could say what part of it is, but I just forgot. I'm sorry. I'm not Michal,
I think
but
it's
I
not
believe
necessary.
in his skills in this.
Yeah, and I also understand because my reaction is
Mad
not
Monk is in the chat.
Mad Monk.
Hi.
Finally, they haven't been in the chat for a long time. Thank you, Kiko.
Or Sharko.
Oh yeah, my reaction. Ahoy, yeah, ahoy. My reaction is to sleep. I get extremely like shut down, and I need to
It's a very good.
sleep.
It's a healthy thing. Sleep. That's actually one thing what I really liked about Mad Monk as a company is that a lot of people are asking us, okay, are you going to add a product that would help me sleep? And Michal says, no, never. You know why?
No idea.
You didn't talk about it.
No, we didn't.
It's because to get healthy sleep, it's not about pills, it's not about supplements, it's about a healthy lifestyle, a good diet, and moving, and going out, and breathe the air, and get the sunlight. And this is, we could do it, people would buy it, but this is what I like about Manmong. It's not only about the business. I really believe in the philosophy.
You know what's helped me a lot actually to improve my sleep? This getting my Apple Watch and the sleep setting.
Okay.
And actually with the new Apple Watch being able to track my sleep, it motivates me to get my hours. It's a gamification.
Yeah, gamification. We are gamers, right? I'm not that much, but
you're getting there.
Yeah. And I bought Oura Ring, and also almost everyone at MedMonk has one.
What is it? I don't know
You
what
don't
this
know
is.
it?
No, I have no idea.
It's actually a ring that has this function that measures like bodily functions.
God,
and it's,
Petra, why are you doing this to
Yeah.
me? Why are you doing this to me when I'm broke?
Yeah, this is what happened to me with Michal. He was like, yeah, Oura. And also one of my friends who is Michelle Osekot, who is a really great marketeer and copywriter, and she was promoting it, that it also tracks, like your activity, etc. But the data it puts together, it's more like based on how you feel right now or this day. It's calculating, your recovery score, etc. Because I like Apple, I wear Apple Watch as well, and I like
I love it.
closing the rings and everything. But Aura is more about the sleep and the recovery, and like pushing you only when you have the energy. Sometimes because there are days when you don't feel like a lot of activity, and it adjusts the goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are days when, when we come to work, there are several colleagues who have Aura Ring based on Michal's recommendation, and instead of hello, we say, "What's your readiness today?" Because there's a number.
There is? Are you serious? It
Yes,
calculates
yes.
based on what?
Based on your sleep, based on your activity, based on your heart rate, and a lot of stuff, Michal would be better person to talk about it.
What is the damage of this ring? What are we looking to if we want to get it? What is the damage?
Damage?
How much does it cost?
A lot. It's I don't remember. It's like 300 euros.
300 euro. Guys, the Christmas is approaching. If you love me, send me one.
I have a referral friend code if you want. And
maybe.
Maybe. But it's really good thing because I'm this self-driven person who likes to work a lot, and sometimes I am not that good at, like taking a break when I need it.
And that's not good.
And it really helps me, to see the readiness. And if I'm not feeling okay, and it tells me, take it easy today, I'm more willing to do it than only when I don't feel well.
You know what is the thing that actually that reminded me of? Is that now in companies working remotely, it is such a huge drama when you get up and do something because your status goes to away from the keyboard. And there's companies that are tracking that, and how unhealthy.
Wow, this is so bad. This is absolutely awful. When I mentioned like burnout in the beginning and during COVID, when I was working only from home, and we were really afraid with the agency that if we are going to keep clients, and they were scared, they were freezing budgets, etc. And I was working so much, and I started in the morning, and I didn't even get up to get a glass of water. And after a year of doing this online and not getting the energy back, because what I love is working with people. Okay, I need some alone time as well sometimes to recharge, but what brings me energy is talking to people, I see them grow, etc. But when we were only online, having the video calls and everything needed to be scheduled, and there was no conversation by the coffee machine, I was not getting the energy back, and it was not good, I can tell you.
And I think we all had this issue because I was closing my laptop at 8 p.m. and not realizing that it was that late.
Yeah.
Because all we did was work.
Yeah, and there was no barrier, no limits, or what's the word?
There no limits. No borders, I guess.
Borders or...
See, my Slovenčina is okay.
Yeah,
I even know it in Serbian. Granica.
Cynthia, for me, champion is 5 out of 10, but Mad Monk 2 out of 10. Are you don't like the taste or the...
It's the caffeine.
Effect?
It's the caffeine.
Yeah.
It's
But I actually really like Mad Monk taste. But I like I like coffee, olives, and weird taste.
The thing is, I think people don't realize that it's a sacrifice because the caffeine is what makes, for example, coffee bitter.
Yeah.
That's why when you have Robusta and Arabica has less caffeine, which is why it's more pleasant. But the Robusta has more caffeine and therefore will give you more energy.
And also, the taste, it is quirky at first. You can get used to it. But on the other hand, why it doesn't taste that well is because it works and there's no, like artificial stuff to beat this bitterness. And that's why it works, and that's why you don't put artificial
and I'm glad that
sugar,
there isn't.
etc. Because you could, energy drinks, they have caffeine as well, but they are sweet. And that's the price for it, and you don't want that in your body.
I already have enough sugar coming from different places.
Yeah, there are better ways to get sugar, like cakes,
fruit.
Okay.
Look, there was a funny comment here from Vendo. Look, you can read that.
I need Mad Monk every day at my job. What's your job, Vendo?
Yeah, Vendo, we need to know what you do for a living. Bro, tell us where you work. Burnout is the worst thing that can happen to everyone.
It is hard.
But I think the hardest thing is to recognize that you're burning out, because the closer you are to it, the more you push yourself to burning out.
Yes, and there's a lot of ways how you can push yourself to burnout, and I think one of them is like guilt. Like when you feel that you are not doing it right, and that something is not right, you feel guilty about it, and that's the psychological thing that's going on. and then your body just needs to show you, and that's what the burnout is, and it can show in different ways, physically, or that you cry when you open your computer or something like that. But it's just we need to listen to our bodies more, because they are very well working computers, and if we don't listen to them, they will need to shout more
one way or another.
loudly. And yeah, and it's the same with emotions. Emotions are like control key. It's information, and if we don't listen, then it needs to be stronger.
Like triggers, you mean?
Yes.
Trigger. So Vendo, he's a programmer. Actually, he's working with checkout solutions. Actually.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Madman, good for you.
Cynthia, you have sugar from me. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Look at Wilcorn. He used to work 265 hours in 1 month.
How? What?
I hope you are young and you can handle this. From school, yes, because also young people have these burnouts from.
This is a very serious topic because, for every young person, it's difficult because you're learning and you don't know, and things are new. But what I had the experience lately is that some of very young people, like 18 years old, they are 18 or 19, they just graduated high school, but they feel they had to work on their career since they were like 14 or something, and that they are missing out something. And they are 19, and they already worked so much, and there's so much pressure on them.
Where do they get this from? Who was telling them this?
I think it is also social media, because our media, like also some business media that are talking about the success stories of people in business or startups, but they usually don't say that it's okay to fail and that you need to get there. It's not easy, because when they are talking only about the success, or there's another way, and my therapist actually told me that she hates those stories like I burned out and then I realized and then I started to my new company. But this is not a healthy formula, because you don't need to burn out to be successful. And I think this is something, if they are hearing this like all the time, and they feel like when they are 18 they should be already, I don't know, millionaires or something, and if they are not, they feel like failures, then it might cause the burnout.
Hey guys, so you heard it. Chill. My maximum in one row was 39 hours, never more. I had a burnout from music, and my feelings were fatal. I was so sorry for myself that I can't do something that I like. Hi, Bilksy. I don't know how to pronounce that. Bilksy? Why are only 13 people here? Oh, that's good. More people will watch it. I don't have that many live viewers all the time. It's Friday, guys.
Everyone's out.
Everyone is out and partying.
I had a really, really nice experience when I was driving here, because I was coming from Devin, because Triad is there.
Such a nice place in Bratislava.
It is.
But the expensive
they have
houses.
Really great view, because the founder Marek Mrazik, he's actually from Devin. So, but I was driving here, and I stopped on the red light, and there were a bunch of young people standing next to where I was standing, and they were singing a song, and they were not drunk.
Yeah?
They were just standing there singing.
What song was it?
I didn't know it.
Okay.
But it sounded so good, and they were so happy just to be singing. And this is a great cultural difference between Czechs and Slovaks. Slovaks sing a lot, loud.
Also, I had
in public.
I'm glad that they're not ashamed to do it. To be honest, more people need to do that.
Yes,
Be out of their comfort. Also, Spanish people.
Yeah.
But since we're sharing nice stories, I have to share with you that today I had fans approach me twice for pictures for the first time. Like real fans of mine.
That's so cool.
And it was kind of nice, and it was so strange to see. It was a group of students from Trebišov that were visiting Bratislava, and it was so I'm not gonna say funny, but to see people shaking when they are talking to you, it was so cute.
Wow.
It was extremely cute, and
It
just
means that you are doing something right.
I hope.
You're inspiring.
I hope I'm trying to spread positivity because there's so much negativity in this world.
Good job.
Thank you so much. Let's see a comment here from Cynthia. When COVID started, at first it was okay, but after 1 month, I felt exhausted. I opened my laptop at 8 o'clock in the morning and closed it at 10 p.m. That's insane. And I slept for like 2, 3 in the morning because of art school. Yeah. This is why because actually, little known thing is that I actually can draw and paint. And I was so you went to school in the US, you know about AP classes,
Yes.
advanced placement.
Yes.
So I was taking advanced placement art from 10th grade,
Wow.
11th and 12th, and I was getting ready to go to college for art. But it became a chore to get pieces done because you need to have a portfolio for the AP test, and it wasn't joy anymore.
Yeah, with art, this is something that's really hard, I think,
Yeah.
because, and I think it's many other fields. It's for me too, because for me, communication, marketing, and leadership is also a passion. But when I push myself too hard, and when I'm too like hard on myself, and it's not joy anymore,
That's a
then
problem.
that's a problem. And then I think it's in everything you love doing. And I took several leadership courses, and I always try to educate myself. And in one, and there were also other leaders, and especially women. And we were talking about some of them who had a hobby, for example, like baking cupcakes.
Mm-hmm.
And she was this particular lady. She was thinking about opening a business with it. And then she came the next time, and she said, I changed my mind. I don't want to do it. And I was like, why? And she said, yeah, because then it becomes work. And there are things you should be doing, what you love. You should be doing it for work so that you don't work a day in your life. Yeah, that's nice. But also there are hobbies that shouldn't become work, I think. Because if they do, then you don't enjoy them anymore. And it means that you shouldn't be doing it for money.
And why my art career stopped. But Roman Konya, as I was telling you from Meso od Romana, was here yesterday.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy who
likes muscle.
But his philosophy, is about don't grow. Like he knows that his butcher shop, he doesn't want to grow it or expand it because he will lose the love or what he loves doing, which is grilling for people. And that's so nice.
I think, yeah. And there's no right way, And also in my career as a leader, I saw so many people who thought that the only way to grow in your career is the way up. That you have to become manager, you have to become leader, you have to go up the ladder, and you have to have people, and you have to be a team leader. But not everybody is meant to lead people.
For sure.
And not everybody is good at it, and not everybody should do it. And there's also a way to grow, like in depth. For example, graphic designers in the advertising agencies. Some of the graphic designers want to become art directors, to go more to the conceptual work. Some of them want to become creative directors or leaders or owners of agencies, and some don't, because they want to become the best graphic designers or 3D designers, and they just harden their skill.
People don't look at the lateral moves.
Yes, and it's normal, but also nobody teaches us that it's okay to try to be a leader, and if it's not for you, it's okay to come back.
Even the companies, though, I think it's a big fault on the companies that they don't, as I was saying, teach you about moving sideways, lateral, or also becoming what is known as an SME, a subject matter expert. Like you can do really well by really learning your craft.
Yes.
And even make more money sometimes than a manager because you become an indispensable part of the company that only you have that knowledge. So
I know some people like that. And
also catching from what you said something that really resonates with me, and that's that we can tell you a lot of things and we have our philosophies that work for us, but you need to find your own, because everybody has a different path. And I think that's a mistake that people make quite often, that they want to find their path in someone else.
Yeah, that's also sometimes the danger of like reading books about successful people or those articles in Forbes. It could be an inspiration. You can learn from other people, but it doesn't mean that you should copy them.
And we
Because
had this.
everybody has different skill set, experience. This seems a little bit like too much motivation stuff,
Yes.
but it's good to know yourself. And I think we are not taught this. You should know yourself. You should know what your strengths are, what your limits are, what you love doing, what you don't, and then you can build on it. But if you think you should be like this, and this, and those boxes we were talking about, and it's a limit.
Yeah, that's, you limit yourself for sure. A lot of people saying that there at Slovakia, lots of people are all the time depressed, and there are so much boomers, and in America it's the opposite. But is that even true? It's a much bigger country, the US, and I think you find all sorts of people, right? I think that I wouldn't say that Slovaks are depressed. It's just a different nationality, right? It's it is difficult to stand out when you've been conditioned not to stand out.
Yeah, I think it's a process, and we are at a different starting point in our region.
Young nation. So it's gonna take time.
It takes time, exactly.
This year, Jinx. You know Jinx?
Yeah.
So for people that don't know in the chat, this is an American thing that when somebody says the same thing that you do, you jinx them. It's like
And I think I'm not sure now. Maybe somebody can correct me but we were saying stop platíš mi kofolu.
so they have to buy you.
Yeah, if you say the same thing at the same time, and the first one who says stop platíš mi kofolu, the other person has to buy it.
So you will have to buy me kofola then.
I might. There's too much sugar in it now.
This is true, but actually, I don't know if you know.
Yes.
So it is a real thing. I don't know if you know, in Horský Park, there's a pub there called
Funus.
Yes. Best
Student pub.
kofola.
Yes.
Best kofola in Slovakia.
Okay, might be. I actually, when I was studying university, and since I'm from Senica, which is not that far, but it's not also close. You couldn't travel here every day, so I didn't
Would
get
be
a
hard.
dorm.
What?
And from the University of Economics, and somehow I got a place at
Horský Park?
Mlínska dolina.
Oh, Mlínska dolina. Okay,
And
that's party town.
yeah, that's party town. And I was actually living there with people studying informatics and programming, and somehow I always get to IT or like geeks, although I never studied it, and I'm like more soft skill person.
But I feel that from you. I think that you would be great at nerdy stuff.
Yeah, I think it's because my dad, he's an IT guy.
So there you go. You get it from Summer. Petra, I have a question for you. 2 hours have flown.
Wow.
But,
wow.
But I still want to take a few
Max.
minutes to discuss therapy. Are you okay with it, or are you tired? So can you tell us, many people here have come and talked to us about therapy, but why is it such a taboo, and why should people really pursue it?
Mm-hmm. I think the taboo is from, also from the past and from being the mental health not considered being a health. And I'm not really, like a specialist in this, but also with Triad, we worked pro bono for an NGO, Nevypust duši, a Czech one. Actually, my friend founded it, and it's an organization promoting mental health and taking care of mental health among students, among young people.
Very important.
Yeah, it's very important. And for me, for example, when I was younger, it was not a topic at all. And when I was not feeling well, or when I started crying, when I was stressed out, I thought there was something wrong with me. and there's this loop that's going on. If you never heard about it, you think the problem is you, and you should be stronger, and you should be tougher, and then you're just getting deeper and deeper into it. And when I really thought that, okay, I cannot take it anymore, it was pretty bad when I started to go to therapy. And the first thing that my therapist, I was pretty lucky, because it's really hard to find somebody that clicks, because it's like with a partner or, a friend. It's not.
You're opening up to this person.
Yes. And she told me that you're okay. And I was like, no, but sometimes I get angry at work and I start crying. And she's like, yeah, I understand your job is tough. And I was like, okay. And since then, I came through a lot of understanding of myself and a lot of healing. I think I'm not as troubled as some other people. I come from a happy family. I never had a real, like issues, like not to be,
knock on wood.
Nothing really, really happened to me in my life. There are so many people who came through a lot of stuff, but it is really important, and it helps me to get this hour every 2 weeks just about myself. It's the same like working out or, taking care of your teeth.
It's what we don't pay attention to, the mind.
Yes. Because until recently, nobody ever talked about it. And, there was this fun thing about Americans that people, for example, even in my circles, some people were saying that, okay, Americans, they go to therapy with everything. And it was like, because we saw it in the movies. But it's because it's normal way of taking care of yourself. And that's your job. Nobody can do it for you. Taking care of yourself, it's your job.
And it's becoming big companies in the US, how even, for example, a psychologist
luckily, it's starting here too.
Good.
Unfortunately, COVID had to start it. But there are also some startups, like who provide a connection between therapists and clients online. Or also there is one, it's called Solmio in Czech Republic. And what they are doing, it's promoting or helping companies to understand that they should take care of mental health of their employees to actually be better employers and to get better results.
People are the real asset in the company,
Yes.
right? So we cover the therapy, which is what I didn't want to leave out, because I think it's...
Yeah, and I always say also to my younger colleagues or to my mentees that if I don't regret many things, or it's like if I was younger I would do this, but if I started therapy much earlier, I think I would save myself a lot of pain and people around me too.
It's good advice for life. Petra, before we finish, could you leave our audience with maybe some message, a goodbye message, and also some lesson that you really think everybody should take to heart? Some positivity.
Some positivity.
While you think about it, I will just read what is happening here. I will slide into DMs with Petka. Yeah, Nati, it's okay. I will speak with both of you, with Cynthia and you, and we'll talk to Petra. She's amazing, so she will take care of you girls. Wilcorn, we have therapy as a benefit in my work. That is really good. And I hope you are using it and taking advantage of it.
The thing that I learned, and I think it's pretty positive, is that people are good. And I believe in the fact that everybody can be good at something if they get support or if they find somebody who will give them courage. And there are people who can give you courage, and if you don't have anybody like that, find somebody. It's okay to be vulnerable.
We surround ourselves with people that don't give us any positivity, and we don't with good people.
And we should, because there is enough good people in the world. Yes.
You will slide into my DMs, Miguel. Yes, I will. I will do that. Petra, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I have to tell you that this is one of the most enjoyable
Oh,
podcasts. I think that we think alike
yes.
quite a bit.
We jinxed.
So thank you so much for coming, and of course, I'm setting the invitation for part 2 next year for
Okay, thank
season 2 of Something po Anglicky. If we continue to do this nice little experiment, thank you for the support that Matt Monk has given my podcast, because I think you guys have been instrumental in my growth as well.
Oh, cool.
And I hope that we continue. I'm not sponsored by Matt Monk. I just really believe in what they're doing. But I would suggest, if you guys are interested in getting some, to support Duklok.
Yes.
So,
Please support the clock. He's so great.
so make sure that you buy from his link so that everybody's happy, right? With that. And now you have a yearly subscription.
Yeah, we have a yearly subscription. It means that you only pay once, and then you're just getting health every month.
And a
you
nice discount.
Yes, nice discount, and you can get some merchandise and really cool mouse pad with a really nice design.
Guys, you can get a cool mouse pad and other goodies, I imagine, right?
Yes, yeah.
Coming your way.
Pins,
Which is my dream.
collectibles.
Which is my dream to get. So I need to get my subscription soon. I need to make sure that I do
I
that.
really love this about Mad Monk. You know, this playfulness and this that
I
people just love these little things that are not so little though. They are
But
really quality.
It's fun because I ordered the Duklog edition, which is why I'm telling you guys to order, and it came with a sticker, which I will show you where I put it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stickers in our office that are on different kind of places.
Love them.
Yeah,
Love
so cool. And if I can,
for
I
sure.
would like to tease to your audience that we are planning something really cool next week.
Some news coming.
Mm-hmm.
So where can they find out where they are? The news. It will be on Instagram, or where will you announce it?
We will announce it on our Instagram for sure, Mad Monk, or our website. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, you will get the info too.
How can people subscribe to your newsletter?
You could just go to Mad Monk GG and you'll find it there.
Did you see the painting that Dushan got? Duklok?
Yes. You know what? Oh, we are not finishing this podcast, but actually, Michal, he's a good target for being, like drawn or painted, etc. And he's always like so humble, but it's so cool.
He's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
He fooled me with posting the picture watching Wakanda. It wasn't real.
Yeah. Sharka did it.
So I was disappointed. I hope he goes and watches it, because it was a great movie. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure.
How
I
can
really
people
enjoyed it.
follow you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
You can follow me on Instagram, Pekosita,
P-E,
or LinkedIn.
or LinkedIn too, the more professional one. But Pekosita, Pecosita in Instagram, right? Because Petsocita, I guess, in Slovak.
Petsosita,
and
if you want to read it as you read it.
I hope you enjoy the podcast today. And guys, next week we have more interesting guests as well. So make sure you come back. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you follow also me on Instagram at Something po Anglicky. And just do something nice for somebody this week.
Yes, please.